Unmute for it. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Are they hearing? Are they hearing? Okay. So everybody there, all the translator.
We can hear you.
Who?
Everybody else other than the co-host.
Yeah, they can hear. Okay. We can hear it.
Cannot unmute.
Yeah, we cannot.
So who is the hosting in there, Vancouver?
Today?
Mm-hmm. Just ask, invite Khenpo. Who's the organizer? Maggie.
Maybe she's not there.
All the check. Check. Oh, okay. So everyone, please pay homage to Khenpo together. Okay, so good evening, everyone. So we'll begin with the prayer to Manjushri as usual. So we will share that on the screen, so you can read it on the screen. Kadan Tenje Sholo Toba Godre Bome Nawanzandoso Senjen Anje Samba Loyen Chen Chejon Demon Debai Chenje Rolo Gordoso
Zonje Danje Jengo, Rita Jengo Jandi Jado, Kadi Tome Kaka Cheje Jabi, Yajido, the Mame Balan, where I do it for some Bajimi Chans, I shall soon chill, Lawyers and Yadanji, Chinjela. Sure, Nezara Danjido, Jimmy Gone Jezo on the door. Congregation time, Mingamizan, Bendona, Chambers, and Lusa, to make a decision to Yinama, Niger, and that's on your conjure. Tom Bamagabe Gabe Dollar in so she's only baby don't be the young door and English to the legend. Somebody Bemanjune Dollar in so Jidaji, the beach and the Jingoraji, that's a Rupin and the Juruka, Jiba maybe Chin Kalanzeba. Yambagana Bemaji de Kane gave it to gay. You don't to make all his own, the don't get out. You can make a little Yonjanga Pame Gale, so Gambolo, I and Davada, to me, you channel Jeto, Chicken, boss. Zoni Janjonaje Dai, Sean, my second congregate, Beme, in the Lome on the concession, you go to the Chiconeba. Ronson Jajas on Bejajo, or the Garantin Bingo, and the Gojoga Sheta, you be that a big nanja. Timeo the gadget die, Sean, she Japan dollar, Jitter, Timeo, they on to them, so someone general. Nyima lembe gadget die, Sean, the Jerry the boy, the Tribune Jokawa, on by you don't. You may get on Bejajo, you don't get back in a chillable, Gombelone Porbitation to change the nosh. Mebanjambe anje dai shon gong dollar kalabata lu jitenje mangaji tenso labata dong kuchila mojila mananje dai shon yende ronje kana nyana yon kadi sonje kana labe la mishala sonde nelo doba chewa jinje lo kono joji tong kinji dena digelo marchiba konsuda de jambe Sambandaba Danjan Beji, she like Dalu Nejinga, Kondonami, Canada, Rocky, Tamji get the church at Tejo, G. Majundo, and Patan, and the Saint Tanji Tando. Tadu then the Devalan and Mepayon, the Batubi Sonji, Comorum, Bajalan Kavachi, Yambi, Samba Chunky to Shibata Kite, Sembrana shoes.
Let's listen to this teaching by generating the mind of the bodhicitta, thinking that I am going to listen to this teaching for the sake of all motherly sentient beings equal to the space and in order to lead all of them into the complete state of the enlightenment. And the topic of today's teaching is the Heart Sutra, which is the essence of all the teachings of the perfection of wisdom sutras taught in the second turning of the wheel of Dharma. And this has three main sections: the beginning, middle, main text, and concluding portion. And within these three, we are in the right now in the main section of the text. And within this main section, first we have the preliminary section, which is like introductory or the context, how this sutra was taught. And then the main section where it is a discussion, this text kind of sutra teaching is a discussion between Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara. And at the end, Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, agrees to or give his agreement, approval to whatever they discussed. So in this way, this portion finishes with these things.
Attain the young Itelaya, Nengaso Langala Chita Hapsuki, Tuangala, Nelentuki Tone, Shitty, Yabukinoni, Adangazo Tonam Chita Hapsu, Gonam La Chita Hapsu, Niobinoni, the Marita, Tonam La Chita Hapsu, Jolam La Chita Hapsu, Tonam La Chita Hapsu, Gonam La Chita Hapsu. Pachi maybe lan la chita hapsu danga yubinoni, ane gonan la chita hapsu kikapares.
And in this section, we have the questions and then the answer. And the answer corresponds to the training on the 5 paths. We have here the path training on the path of accumulation and training on the path of joining and training on the path of seeing. And we have gone these 3. And we are right now on the path of meditation. How do one train on the path of meditation?
Tatilaya, ne kebarchavi ne tula ham, tadula lapike la ketaviki rimbate, takazon shismares.
And in this section, we have 6 or 7 topics that needs to be trained upon. And we went through those things briefly in the yesterday's session.
Because kebarchavi ne tu am dinla hatu te, kazon kondo hibatani chene, deva kashi nonola, and tonam ki jetos to chita hapsu keremba, tonam ki drebu tembatende yores.
And in some commentaries, these 6 or 7 topics is considered as a part of the path of seeing. In the path of seeing, we have the actual meditation on the path of seeing and the post-meditation session. And these 6 or 7 topics are considered, some of the commentators, as part of the training on the post-meditation session of the path of seeing.
You can know that Gonam and you can hear the laptop in the ballot Jan Shevaya and
While in some other commentaries, these 6 or 7 topics are considered as a part of the path of meditation, and that too as part of the wisdom of that path of meditation training on that.
But the Karel Jana and Gawa Yungo Maras Casano, Tonam, Jetola to down with the castle lion, Nick Zuda Pumbongada, Senje Tony Lasobag, and then Niki de Keparchevi ne Tuam di Telaya, Jumatamanam Tapu Tagliorella, and the Gonank capsule and the Taglioretta, Tiquachagores.
So either way, these two doesn't matter much. The one who considered these topics as part of the path of seeing, or whether you consider that as part of the path of meditation, because both of these, whether you are in the post-meditation session path of seeing or in the path of meditation, both of them view all these topics like the 5 aggregates, 12 sources of perceptions, or 18 elements, and so on, as a mirage or as in a dream state.
That didn't Makari words and Haripos, Tetavina, Chanju Samana, Toba, maybe Sharaj Paru Chamana, thinking needs.
So now we are here on the page 6, in the middle of the page 6, where it says Shariputra. Therefore, since bodhisattvas have nothing to attain, they abide in reliance upon Prajnaparamita.
That did you Haripos, Papa, Shanaziki. data winners, going to Temba Nagin, Kepa with need to doing the la. Ane get a tawi remba Senaida, Aneko Rahima Rupa Jumata Mam Tabi, but data winner. Ane Golank Neka la, and Jonju Sambana la Karsegore. Then Tambik on to Chena. Ane Topper Chaviki. Murbo Kayaki to Mares, Karsana, Chuki Nilute, the Kasokonda Shibana, Chonjus, Tegishabana, Janjaru, Majana, Jango, Chernani, Nilu, Teta to Negres, and Nagin, Narotonge, Sank Rangi, Sank Nilu Sena and Da, Churkonok Nilu Tandam on the Chena. Nico, he made that Yeni, share maybe Dani Remato, and the Tobjata Tobje, Onjatan, Lonjasan, the Kaya to go maybe Chani. 아니 고 산주 semana toba maybe chills sharaji paru de chimbala thinking it is databique 아니 nilu tobji da tawiki sharaji paru chimbasena inda chuk nilu de la thinking senainda de monto chene de la jintuni ta neba beba besan chene tene neba de la gonam segres.
So here Sharip Avalokiteshvara is addressing to Shariputra by his name and saying, therefore, which means, having gone through those 6 or 7 topics that, in the ultimate sense, in the ultimate truth, there is nothing to be attained. There's nothing really exists whatsoever, totally, there's no foundation of any kind of existence at all. Therefore, the bodhisattvas have nothing to attain. It is same as earlier we said, quoted that, whether the Buddha appears in this world or not, the nature or the reality of all things are as it is. They won't change whether the Buddha appear or not. So here too, they're saying that in the ultimate sense, since there is nothing that's born or there's nothing to be seized, so therefore the bodhisattvas have nothing to attain, and they abide and reliance upon the paramita, since they have nothing to be attained and nobody there to attain or to aspire for that attainment as well.
Tiki da Gonam la Chita Lapsuti. The Gonam la Chita Lapsus Tiki Kamye, Kartengu Yoresena. Ane Kotonang Kapne Chita Oyabi, Chicken Nilu. Ane Shia Mebam, that Tribatamki that Tari Rongi, Soso Rongi, Shishoyua, Selma Inke, Ko Chicken Nilu, Mashepa, Mangaba, Ane Masam Jabata Tawatini. 아니 고 녀메 비토치 냠스 녀네 나 통랑 가서 시단 통야 받들라 아니 야네 양도 건지지와라 때니 아니 고가 저 그줄라 예비게 레다 녀모비게 니바다 디바테서 아니 고 지르메르메이도 다네 디 다름이긴도 녀모야 contorno nella so che sa più che remati ni che già Jungeres.
So this is how one train on the path of the meditation. So having seen the reality of things, of all the phenomena in the path of seeing, and that everything is unborn nature, and there is no cessation in nature of those things, and whatever the reality that you've seen at the previous level, which is part of seeing. So in this meditation, part of meditation, one engages into the meditation again and again to get familiarized with that and to get stability on that meditation, on that one has realized, whatever one has realized, that level, to get stability. And that way they do it, practice again and again, and in that way all the karma and affective emotions that they have accumulated will gradually purify it and will totally eradicate it, and completely eradicating those things, one will go on to the next level.
Della tenki nete se di caso della tenki savate 통하게 간 기탁만도 제가 대니 네대에서 이거서 대라야는 양도 아니 검지제는 검람사데 검사데 딱고 검니 검바 딱 검바집이 그대로 어떤 네대에서 하데 딱 통함 어떻게 그랬어.
So here where it says the abide in reliance upon. In reliance upon means the relying upon the things that you have seen in the path of seeing, and abiding means to abide on that path of now the path of meditation. You abiding that, training that again and again. Gomlam means part of meditation. Meditation means to get familiarized with, to getting that familiarized, again and again, engaging in that, and then to get to familiarize that thing.
And Nyima
and the next one you can say that is part of the training on the unobstructed or uninterrupted path.
Paki maybe can say the Canadian covers and that on the Shivan Nani. Chitang Gonam Ranch had your resina and Gonam Noni. Nipa Cheshe, the Gonam got Chendi Chunson, realize no the chippy Guyapino. Soma can Nipa de Yasachene. Tamin Tamala. A name called Yamya Kik tone then got Rolanea, Dandranji, Dembiki, and Ninyabo Tatuba. Niponja nonia shinto tawi tawa nipon kashute ponje kinyebo yimichane the misa sototane ni hechi non hegiyores.
And this uninterrupted path is taken out and explained separately in the Paramita teachings, because this is although it is part of the path of meditation, but within the part of meditation, as earlier explained, there are three main levels, the lower level, the middling, and the top level. And within each of these has 3 levels. So that makes the 9 levels on the path of meditation. And this uninterrupted path is the top level, supreme top level of that path of meditation. And the next instant after that, the next level is the Buddhahood. So that's why, and at this level, the most subtle of obscurations is left, only the most subtle of the obscurations left to be purified. And for that one, the most powerful antidote needs to be applied to purify that most subtle one.
Shabayina, that's the Masanji Tomlindi, Ane ko low to la Kawashi, and Doji David Gasson, Doji Dento Tenico. Tamala Nyamra Yache Igla, and Doji Devil thing in the thing on the chine, and ko Arsecore, Sella D2, Torana Tango Bas Bason Jeseviki, the Icap Ketania Yatin of Chigla, and a party may be thing in the Senanda, Doji Devil thing in the Senanda, Party Malam Senanda, or Tenichi, Nyamyakila.
So, for example, Buddha, the Shakyamuni Buddha, he meditated for 6 years to attain the complete enlightenment. And after the 6th year, at the end of the 6th year, he came to Bodh Gaya and he meditated there. And at the evening, he defeated all the maras, all the demons. And at the early dawn session, he entered into this meditation, Vajra-like meditation, which is, in fact, is this uninterrupted path. He was at that level on. And then, after that, he attained the complete enlightened state.
Tila book Nyamya Tila, Kandela Grace, Tila, Tandinima, and Khenpo Sum that Jarni Kidishigures.
So here the question is how to be trained on that level of the uninterrupted path, that last level of before one achieves the complete enlightenment. And here we're talking about 3 great ones to train on that path.
That the Khenpo Sum Sate, Ponwa Khenpo, Toba Khenpo, Sam Khenpo Sene, the Ponwa, the Toba, Senam, Ninjam, Chanjuk Sen Tarchimbeke, and Tartuba, Tarchimbeke, Chambos and Teleke, the number Sumptoni, Chejo and the Jan Hegores.
So this is here explained as per the three great ones. The three great they're talking about is the great abandonment, as from the purification point of view, and the great realization and the great mind. So within these three great ones, the training on this uninterrupted path is explained here.
Tanganeke Chambos Somte, Tartubate, Sanjik Salajagures.
The three great ones should be only domain of the Buddhahood, only the part of the Buddha's the knowledge of Buddha's domain.
Karsana Pong Chambosa, the Pong Tachimalake de Hegore, Toba Chambosa, the Toba Tachimalake de Hegore, San Chambosa, the Chonjuk San Tachimalake de Hegore, teaching the Tisumbote, Sanjik Samilolana Yagures.
Because when we talk about the great abandonment or the great realization or the great mind, which is the mind of the bodhicitta, when these should be, when you say great abandonment, that means you have perfected the abandoning of all the negativities, which should only be at the level of the Buddhahood. In the same way, the great realization should be the perfected realization, which is only in the Buddhahood.
Inaya, that the Niki party may be Lamsena and Dojita betting and tell a news. Niki Nyima, that's Hanjindoya. Ko Nyambia D from the past Hanjindoya in the castle. Ko Sonjeke, Pobada, Pomada, and the Chamba, Chandrava. Tako you became the Tilaya, that the Niki Chamber song with the Hichogres.
But here, because the bodhisattva is on the last level, the next instant is to achieve the Buddhahood, this bodhisattva. So that's why the realization and abandonment of the bodhisattva on this level is almost similar to the complete Buddha. That's why it is being explained here at this uninterrupted path.
I think point about the Shedika Solata go Chicho Yiktoni, the Mahegores, the Lake Patin Mallet thing and the La Point Chicho Yiki about the Hegores.
So first, among the three, when we're talking about the great abandonment, it is normally explained with the four qualities. The first one is the mind doesn't have any kind of obscuration.
Kiki Nimbala Sanji Big Niba Tobi, Damik Boba touching the Casula, Ani Sela Sananda, Diki Jutela, Yamobi Deba, the Shiji Deba, and the Paja Deba, Pompiki, Ko Pampa Tartu the Toya Marade, Conza Delata, Ko Nyambo the Cheta with the Casula, and the Sanda, the Nike Yamobi Deba, the Shiji Deba La Sopa, and the Tato, the Ningen, Tiba, the Tamki Liomare
Because at this level, all the bodhisattva on this level has realized the two kinds of the selflessness, and they are the last level, and the next moment they are going to achieve the Buddhahood. And here, although they still have the final, the subtlest of to be abandoned, to be purified, but they already have this great antidote to purify that, even that one, and they are almost like, everything has been purified, everything has been abandoned. So this is just one instant, one moment before the complete enlightenment. So that's why we just say that, this as a great, this bodhisattva as a great abandonment.
Tapa Medes, that Tapa Sevate, Gonzag Danzi, the church Danzi. Tezote, Natzola, Gibata, Dunga, Tapa Tankin, Junjik, Jim, Johnson Tene, and Julan Debi make Tane Tapas. Take capsula, Damini Toba touching with the cassola, the contact down the church down the last one, but Tamche, Hibichane, and the Taba made.
And the text is, without obscurations mind, they have no fear. Here, talking about no fears. Because the Bodhisattva on this level has completely realized the two kinds of selflessness, the selflessness nature of the person and the phenomena, they don't have any fear, because all the fears, all the attachment and everything that comes from the holding on to the self and phenomena, since this has completely abandoned or completely realized the selfless nature, so that has been referred to as without any kind of fear.
Chinchulole Hindon Dennis, Chinchulole Hindon Dennis at the Chinchulo at the Nancy Zimba the GBK Tony, better Zimbabwe, the JB Tony, and Lunakile, La Soba, Saba, Tela Chinchulo Segore, Tandini. Tako Paki may be Lamtik, Capsula, Chinchulo, Hindon Dennis, with the Castle, and Zimbata TBK. Then Betan, Zimbata Jehin, Betan Tony, and the not less of Lasoba Soba maybe Tane, and the Chinchulo, Hindon Dennis.
And the next is completely transcending the false views. Because they completely abandon the self-cherishing or the self-ego. So they don't have this kind of thing, and in that way they don't accumulate any kind of karma through body or speech, physical or verbal, any kind of karma, and they don't have any kind of they don't have to do any kind of effort. They don't have the effort to do those things.
And Yangan be touching those because Yangans are the Kato the Yangan de Stan Dongalako. Andakato de la Namto Taratam de la Yang Jachene. Anika Captain Pati may be thing and the Telanego de Castle, Namto Joatara Saben the Jeba, Ndapondo Chane, and the Yangan de Batacintos, Tatua, but the naked Namto Tani Bon Deba, Gaba Tatu Chane, Yangan de Batacintos, Jebares.
And they attain complete nirvana. So we have in the Tibetan word Nyangin le Deva for the nirvana, which also refers to as, beyond any kind of suffering, of any kind of pain or something like that. So here, all the pain or suffering refers to conceptual thoughts. So here, the Bodhisattva on this level has completely transcended or completely abandoned all kinds of fear, or including its seed, the cause, including its cause and this habitual tendency with that one. So that's why they have reached or attained the nirvana. So here the uninterrupted path, talking about they have these four kind of characteristics or four features.
Ani Paje may be Lamdela, Ani Khenpo Sonam, Khenpo Nyima, Toba Khenpo on the Chesona, to use on the number you be Sonji, Tamja Heraj part of the Chimbala, Danny, 70. That doje that be thing and this and the Paje may be Lamsena and the Tenike Gonam Tama. That go Yamya take Danny Melolam Yap Denver Chibiki. Tenike go Gonam Tatubati. And then do some Sonji Tanji Tela Dennis Hanji go is. Chetanki go, I took to Sonja Sunda in a Tolan, Jolam, Tola, Gonam remake to journey. Nia Cosonji go Caviar the Inaya, Tanakato de la Dusum, you be Sonji Tanja. Data be Pati may be thing as Tela Dennis Hanji Grace at the Carico words. Chico Monja Kali Cashew, Tatu de дэг 방위가 받아 또반 탈진 바스나인다 고 산지게 기타 진이긴 참바데 되게 고 톱지 그좀 뭐주라고 이미 전전에 되는 거죠 그 그 지금 그 몸에 몬트도 그 내가 가르쳐 봐 있나야 아니 지 민데 잡고테 그 제레사 그 미다반나니 전다다 빠지면 별람데 뒤숨도 유비 손지 탄게게 내가한테 데레에서는 뭐다 되게 또 받게 못 된 거랬어.
And then the second of the three great ones, talking about the great realization. So this is on the next page on the top line. All Buddhas are 3 times by relying on the Paramita. So this Bodhisattva on this uninterrupted path, or the on this Vajra-like Samadhi. This is also called a Vajra-like Samadhi. So these all the Buddhas who attain the complete Buddhahood has to go through all these paths, progressively from path of, accumulation up to this path of meditation and the uninterrupted path, and then have to attain enlightenment. But here is saying that all the Buddhas are 3 times rely on this, meaning that, this path, uninterrupted path, is where the most subtle and the most difficult to overcome obscurations, the most difficult to purify the obscurations is being purified at this level, and the most powerful antidote is being applied at this level. So that's what he's saying here, that has relying here on this paramita to do that thing. It is, for example, like a country where most jobs or difficult things are being done by the subjects, but whenever a good thing has been achieved, the king or the leader of that country takes the credit, kind of doing that leadership of that person has did these great things. In the same way, here is saying that all the Buddhas of the 3 times has to rely on this uninterrupted path in order to achieve the complete Buddhahood.
근데 다 켐보선이 켐보선게 타마 샘켐보사데 더 샘켐보사데 조 연편 장주 스템 타르친도 바게 아니고 딜라다 샘켐보세네 라고요레스.
And now the third among the 3 great ones, that's the great mind. Generally, the great mind refers to the completely perfected bodhicitta, benefiting others. That kind of mind, bodhicitta, when you perfected that, that is called the great mind. So here in the text you read, unsurpassable, fully awakened, unsurpassable, So what unsurpassable here means is that the completely perfected bodhicitta, the enlightened mind, that is unsurpassable.
장추 샘바테 저게 아니 둘자 타투 단도 녀자 타투데 아니 산제지 컴폰테 차요 말레스.
Actually speaking about the bodhisattvas, their ultimate goal, ultimate thing is not about attaining the Buddhahood.
장추 샘바테 저게 단도 녀자 타투바데 가르쳐요 그랬으나
The ultimate task is benefiting other beings. Because when the bodhisattvas, when they first generated the mind to the bodhicitta, they generated for the sake of all motherly sentient beings. They first recognize or understand that all sentient being has been one's own father or mother, one's own parents, and during that time when one has been one's own parents, they took care with great care and kindness, with great care and kindness. So they have the sense of repaying that back to the motherly sentient beings, so that they're thinking about by benefiting them, all sentient beings, they can repay that kindness.
제지디 펜 따바 지발라 아니 단다 나도 나란다 펜 땅에 라니다 아니 펜 따사게 생긴 데저데 아니 고동아 그나 데발라 지과 차고도 니바 지과 차고도 딜라고 무슨네 담에게 펜 따도 야게 니바 가데스네 데마 체고도 세데 가서다 손제지 공본딩만 체네 닝에 펜 따고도 세 디지디 가서래 아니 파트럼 버체도 그 고름 노나 송고데 아니 정주 셈바도 저 단드니에자 타르투바데 가르레스나 산제지 공본티 차고야 말에 아니 단다데 옌단데 차고야 레스네 어떤 순모요 레스.
But in order to benefit all motherly sentient beings, right now, when you kind of don't have that potential to benefit other beings, so then they have committed or promised to attain the enlightenment, so that after that you have this potential, you have this power, capability to help other beings. So, and that's why they want to achieve the complete enlightenment, so that they can benefit other beings, all these motherly sentient beings. That's why Patrambhuja, in the meditation stages of meditation, he mentioned that the ultimate goal of bodhisattva is not to achieve complete enlightenment state, but to benefit other beings.
제지리가 소라다 고 뭐아 샘템보 타투로 바티 아니 고 정juk 센타치로 바티 옌단 지바키 줄라는 메바 창로고리 제지리가 소라 아니 고 톱잘라는 메바 디차용이가 소네 라는 메바 센테라고 그래서.
So therefore, this perfected mind, bodhicitta, perfected, that is the unsurpassable cause to do the benefit of all others' work. So that's why in the text we have here unsurpassable.
다 되게 고 봉아쳔보다 또바쳔보다 산쳔보 솜티 아니 바르지미 비클람텔라 안 되게 체체 솜다 덴바 어떤 헤비토네 네 고 바르지미 비클람텔라 제달랍스티 예 덴바레스.
So here in this uninterrupted path, so we have these three main category, three things to be trained upon. That is the unsurpassed, a great abandonment, great realization, and the great mind. And this is being talked here, how one train into the unsurpassed, uninterrupted path.
아니 양다바 조비 jonju도 마바 조바 산제소 사 되게다 고 딘데게 공도 해바게 총남다 jon남다 통남다 관남다 바지미비 람그니까라 합주 되돌라 아니 리지보다 리지보 못해줘게 아니 지진도 합수나 아니 양다바 타두바 감 타 치미게 아니 장주 드네 넘버 조바 산제 제도를 사 되게다 멜로라 템바 어떤 일이지 야나디가 사레스.
And then it says, fully awakened, unsurpassable, true, complete enlightenment. So in this way, if you train it through these paths, from the path of accumulation, joining, seeing, meditation, uninterrupted path, if you do it in that way, progressively past and traverse those things, then you will be able to reach the complete enlightenment state. So this is, you can say that this is the path of no more learning.
아티지디가 솔라다 나조게 순도르 디바이나 아니 정축 컴포넌트 데비게 konzaki 이나 칸데 제고레 세나 오다 가존 당아조 최딘 가히 근도와티노라 소실 라네땀 토마토레 마도 단다데 티노는 만티바지 요마레스.
So in short, it's being talked here how to train oneself. If one wants to attain the complete enlightenment state, this shows how one needs to be trained upon in order to reach that state. Whether one able to do that or not is up to the individual person.
대체리 가서라 안에 다른 아저기 희야교 대조대 소지 산다 중지는 냐네 데이터란도 야바이나 손지 공부 토도 바지레스.
But if you keep in mind the teachings on this as in this text of Heart Sutra, then you will surely it will lead you to the complete enlightenment state.
대체리 가서다 토나를 하고 토랑 아주 가르치여서나 안에 정juk 샘 끈을 혼비기 토네 꽤마마이 베기 장juk 샘 끈을 혼비기 토네 아니 게자 간다 간사바데 돈이 또 비타베 지심바 어텐디게 정juk 샘 끈을 혼기 돈이 따베 지시비기 게자기 스타나 손지지 공부 탑지 그 줄란도 그래 대마사나 안에 소나 찬틴산 토리라다 미데와 다 드네 고 멘주장지 센소나 아니 nyantedara sanji kombo tawya tanchi juremado ne sonje ki jolandogu mare sate nenga tambo deresta.
So the first important point you need to take it from this text is how one needs to train on the path of accumulation. So we went through that on that path, the most important thing you have to keep in mind is the bodhicitta. You have to give rise to this, bodhicitta, the real bodhicitta, without any without any contrived mind, without modification, like with the contrived mind, and together with the mind of the realization, with the mind of the emptiness, together with these two, emptiness and the bodhicitta, you have to accumulate any kind of positive activities with these two. If you do it this way, then this will become a cause for you to attain the complete enlightenment state. Otherwise, if you lack these two, the bodhicitta and the emptiness, then even if you accumulate a positive accumulations, positive karma, it won't lead you to complete enlightenment state. It may become a cause for you to be born into higher realms, like in the realm of the humans or in the realm of the gods. Or if you do that with a sense of renunciation, then that positive activity or positive karma will lead you to attain the arhatship of the solitary realizer or the hearer's arhatship.
네, 저랑 또라 갑술에 lapso텔라가 가르르 붙이 관행 거 와르스나 맞저기 신이라도 된 빌한통나 냐몬다 만져 마시치니 시디카솔라 아니 신이 루비 톤이다 신이를 땜비기 한통 다미니 라용네오도 컨버치기 hilāsūndē ki tēngi zilātā zambā chē gāyā tē ānē nēngā chādī yorēs tē kārē rēsē nā nē ngā tsō kō sāngjē sātē ngā tsō kīsēm tē tāndī ki nē kāli māndawā yēndā chīlān juāndō gāyā tē rē tēn rōwā chē bālā nē kō nāntō tē tsō mā kā chē nē nē dāmīnī ki tēng lā hilāsūndē ki tēngi zilātā kō chēyā ki tākē ki tōlā nē hlāpsū tē nēngā chādī yorēs.
And on the next level, which is the path of joining, we talked about the importance of the calm abiding meditation. And on top of that calm abiding meditation, we have to have the vipassana. Vipassana here means the training on the two types of selflessness, the selflessness nature of the phenomena and the person. It is because in order to achieve the enlightenment, when you become Buddhahood, it is your mind that has to achieve that one, and your mind has to be modified or changed. By changing the mind, only then can you achieve the enlightenment state. So, if you do this meditation of calm abiding and vipassana special insight, which is, and then only you're able to abandon all kinds of conceptual thoughts and then change your mind for the better and then reach the complete enlightenment state.
아니 맞게 조랑라 합주 take 토니 correct 내가 지금 words나 아니 신의 루야라 아니 메시지네 신의 덴데미게 덴토라 아니 다미게 덴데 오네 콤비키 아니 콤바치야 너나 길라순데 띵인데 줄레체도 치야디 카디어레스.
So the important point here on the path of joining is you have to have a stable meditation on the calm abiding meditation. And on top of that, you have to train on the special insights, which is training on the selfless nature of the two types, which is the person and the phenomena.
아니 저그 미루 마선도 또네 다 냐선 냐메 비냠 돈네 냐오세아나 이체네 네 소소라니 이슈요 와사나 이체네 저그 미루 마선도 치비게 아다고 다미 마선 또바티 케제케거레 다 데크 카레 삼단고 거선 다는 나죠 아니 동봉하게 달라신지 다킨디시 왜라 차시바 소지찬다 사나 이체네 나죠 조 코알라 티제 동아탄지게 자와 단지 롱진지 디카디어리 대단 제니 아니 처탄키는 좀 바쇼네 차바도 동아제와 디치디가솔라 아니 고 소스케 제바제바이나라 나미크 룬다 나미 맹알 템바이나라 간지 나미니케 탄데 아니 롱크 줄라 제야다 데라 콤디제야 어떻게 통하게 가네 내가 저기 라바 가서부터 합주 랭귀야데 티타디어스 고 저기 고 빠야데 녀모비 데바다 히지 데바데 방고레 대파와 지바라 디녀모 다미니 도바티제야 마도 예 타키요 마르스 티치디 가솔라 어때라 메선치야데 어디 하고야데 단 통남나 합주 토니 가지고 관행게드레스.
And the point you have to take from the training on the path of seeing is, the path of seeing is where one actually sees the true reality of things, where you actually realizes the emptiness. And at this point, it is like, as said before, it can only be experienced through one's own self-cognizing wisdom. That is kind of realizing without realization, kind of that kind of thing. And on this path, the main thing is to abandon the holding on to or grasping on to the two kinds of selves, the two kinds of that is that of the phenomena and the person. So you have to realize these two kind of a selflessness nature. As said that, first due to having this grasping or to ego self, and then you have this, first you have this I or self, and then you comes the my is mine, that kind of a notion comes. So in order to realize the true selfless nature or the true emptiness, what you have to do is you have to abandon the two kinds of obscurations, that of the afflictive emotion obscuration and the cognitive obscurations. And the only way to purify these two kinds of obscuration is by realizing the two kinds of selflessness, that of the phenomena and the person.
That's in Gonam said it, Tonak Kade Tonyabati, Yani Combachivi said the Gonam Segures.
And the next one is the path of meditation. Path of meditation is whatever the reality of things that you have seen at the path of seeing level. In this path of meditation, you are trying to familiarize, they're trying to get a very stable thing, stability on that one. So you're engaging into meditation again and again.
Guam de la Nyanga Casola, Ani ko Gomban, that's all. Go Tonaka Casola, the Castle conduct down the check danzi, 아니 락바테도 니룬 통화도 본도 그래데 이나야 공네 바자야야한테도 고난그 가서는 메리 배방간 차고요레스 아 대치디 가서는 냠자 거야 그거요레스 이나야 빠르는 버티도 그 순디 아니 통람다 졸람다 통람 그 값나보이나 저 냠자라 내야 되는데 라티저 마하다네 고적니루마 좀 통했던 배선 제가 차고요레스 가르세나 ane chok nilunga som thong udi ka so la ne ko sega nanji ke ransen pa ke de tam te nyeba de pang ro wa de ti chi ka so yen de mo wa che thung go wa des.
So on the path of meditation, although you are engaging into meditation, but not so much as before when you are on the path of seeing or path of joining. In those two paths, you are more emphasizing in the meditation session itself because you're trying to see the reality of things. You're trying to realize the emptiness at that time, and that way you're able to do the beneficial works of other beings more through that way. And as at the path of seeing, as one sees the reality of all things, all the gross level of obscurations are all abandoned just by seeing that reality of things, just by knowing the emptiness. But still, many of the subtle level of obscurations are still left to be purified. And through the stages of this path of meditation, one purifies those subtle obscurations.
이나야 아니 고난 그 값을 소 아니 예토 yendan 제야데 지키야 지고요레스 파트로 뭐지 그 고난게 소노 고난게 소노 소오데 가서라 아니 사토비게 종주 삼바 대조게 냠벼라 조 나는 거 말이 아니 예토 yendan 제야라 조 나는 그래서 소요레스.
So, but the main activity one does on this level of bodhisattva is on the post-meditation session, they try to benefit other beings as much as you can. And it is mentioned in the stages of path by Patrul Rinpoche that those beings who have achieved the bhumis, that is now first bhumi and above, those bodhisattvas mainly strive to be in the post-meditation session in order to benefit other beings.
대지디 가서는 가서 그 고난게 돈에 가서 구하는 거야. 같이 자고 쪼는 거 같이 자고 있으나 아니 바로 듣지 마. 두다 두는 거 일어서 봤대도 라삼네. 근데 생계 양 당지야라. 근데 매찬지야 돼. 개차 자고 그랬어.
So that's why in this level of bodhisattva on the path of meditation, they are more engaged into benefiting other beings during their post-meditation session by engaging into the 6 paramitas, the 6 perfections, or the 4 things to gather the disciples.
랜다 나미란 라메 비토네. 아니 지바타와. 대나기 전에 아니 고 얘네 제pon아 다 yendan 제바 두발라서밖에 아니 스템스마 근데 자바고야 아니 고 전지 정에 라서 파지 둘라 아니 고 라비아티 아니 고 갈게 뭐 차고레스.
So they train on the 6 parameters, 6 perfection, which first comes to perfection generosity. They practice that for the generosity without aiming for any things in return or anything for the karma in the future lifetime. Without aiming something like that, they engage into the practice of the generosity, and in the same way they practice and the moral discipline, the ethical thing, and on the patience and so on, and the 6 perfections.
뭐야? 티소데 나서게 소수기 줄라 네 단다 건디 히바티소 총람다 갑네 존람간네 통람간네 골람간네 티소데 소수기 줄단드네 니레 초안노는 냐네 다 데르트바 제다 델라 하바겐데 맞아 종거야다 헤거야다 냐네 제거야 개요 말았어 손질 공부 토벨라.
So in order to achieve the complete enlightenment state, these teachings that we've gone through based on the 5 paths, if you try to incorporate those things, you try to practice those things in your day-to-day life, in a daily life, then, those things, practices will lead you to a complete enlightenment state.
This is because that on to hear about data hlapsuwaina 아니 뒤송지 손제 담지장 아니 혈아치 바로 듣지만 들라 땐데 톱도 봐 대다 왜 나왔어 근데마 아니 가르된 거를 세나 아니 제당게 디엔초디 아니 종주선바 온보 뚫보 그리라 제버히바다 니니마 아니 하다 자르니 아니 가르세고레 종주선바 온보 넘보데솔라 아니 랍주니에 베노다 니니마 막 배야다 기비 거는 온보 넘보데솔라 아니 고랑마라 랍주 땡겨레스.
And the next line reads, therefore's meaning, going through those practices as taught in this relation to these 5 paths, the talking. And now from here onwards, it is meant for the bodhisattva of sharper caliber, sharper capacity. They have the first up to here is bodhisattva who has little bit slow or the lower capacity ones. Now from here on, it talking about the mantra of the Prajnaparamita with its benefits, especially meant for the higher level of those bodhisattvas.
Tenik Heraj Parod Chimba, Heraj Parod Chimba, Data, Lam Heraj Parod Chimba Lam Hechi take it here, Tenik Lam Heraj Parod Chimba T, and then Paris. I own the race starting house out the Kaniki course and mantras, Sanskrit. Mantras at the Kaniko course and Tobata, Hebata Joba, Hebata Jeba Gitani Leguiaris, Tichicas and Minima, Shepi Gitantella, and Stomda, Shopi Gitantella Kijene, and Ko Heraj Paro Chimbati, Hai Bata, Tela, and the Chiju Yida Damaimati, and the Heguiaris Pantla.
And here is the reason the Prajnaparamita mantra. The Prajnaparamita here refers to, among the 4 we explained earlier, this here refers to the path Prajnaparamita. And the mantra, Sanskrit word mantra, actually has 2 connotations, 2 meaning here. One is kind of cognition of the mind, and another one is the protecting that one.
Hipiki did dance so yabanoni, Tambo de la Garsana, Riba Chimbing House, Lam Heraja Paro de Chimate, Riba Chimbo race, Riba Chimbo Sade Carcorsana, Riba Sade, Shechin Cron, Lam Corona Converete, Yuchi de Yini Carsecoreta, Monstum to Topiki, Ane Riba Nigo de Casolata, Dilejan. 잡채와 자채와 그 교인 그 맞춰봤기 내기요 말에 교인 다 해진 람 해진 되게 마토비게 교인기요 말에 뒤치디 가솔라 아니 유탄지라 샤비기 차니 아니 쳔보세 리바 쳔보세네 라고레스.
And this cognition part of the mantra has 3 meanings. The first one is the mantra of the great insight. Great insight, because this Prajnaparamita, there's a path Prajnaparamita, subsumes everything, all the things there. So it comes, it's within it covers all the reality of all things, and all the reality of all things, that's covers everything. Nothing is left behind. There's nothing to be other than that. So that's why we have this saying, a great insight. There's nothing greater to be achieved of that.
And then Lana may be in house. 고 히라지 바로도 짐바 디게 데코나니 타투바 저지 닐룬 타투바 데토데요레 단딜레 또자 초도 줘봐 예메비 캬니 아니 라나메비 하레세 데라고레스
Unsurpassable mantra. This is the ultimate realization. There's nothing beyond this to be achieved or to be realized. So that's why you have here unsurpassable mantra.
네 메냥바다 냠바치빈 하세 다 제제숨바데 다 메냥바데 가르레세나 다 라나메바 고나메바 메냥바데 가르레세나 손지지 공봉케 아니 디 카테고리 디 터버제바디 샤라지 바로 듣지말 디 카데요리 디체디 가솔라 메냐바 손지지 공봉 데다 냠바치비 니바덴바디 아니 디레세네 어디게 거레스.
And the third feature is on the next line, the mantra that equalizes the unequaled one. So the unequaled one is the Buddhahood. The Buddhahood is the totally highest up there. So that is the unequaled one. And by studying this and training on this Paramita, one equalizes or one reaches that unequal state. So that's what they're saying, that the mantra that equalizes the unequaled one. So this mantra or this Paramita, if you study or train on this one, it will be, you will become kind of Buddhahood. You will become that equal to that unequaled one, which is Buddhahood. So these three features are the features of the meaning of the cognition part of the mantra. The mantra, as said before, has two: cognition and the protection.
dunga dunga laswa dunga swam je ta khanida ba shege na ya dinagi dunga ke ju chawa denzi ta ke ba tham je ane pongwa khiwa che do bi je ne ji je do bi chane dunga tham je ra do khiwa chi bi ham ane ko lam ta dere sene ode higores.
And the next line reads, the mantra that totally pacifies all suffering. By having generated realizes this path, Paramita, one able to pacify or purify all kinds of sufferings. If we talk about three kinds of sufferings, the suffering of change, or all pervasive sufferings, all those things can be purified, or even the causes all those suffering, you can say, which is the holding on or grasping on to this solidity of things. So by realizing this path, Paramita, one is able to pacify all kinds of sufferings.
And then my Mijibena Demarchiva Chates, that Tindiki and Sharaji Paro the Chimba Tilla, Hippie Kitan, some that Chopi Kitan, Kiki, Tindiki Chichi and Pan that the Dembiki Chane, Ronila, Aniko Chick Puissant Sopitan, and Druja Tattoo. That's on the compound and the Panjan tattoo Nyoma, but the Hiji de Balasopata, go Kaneji Pane, Roni, Pison Sobaki, Yungu Yana, and Tidabuki Sharat part of the Chimbatella, Lapsoina, and they go Midzibena Sidikasulata, take Namia, Flugmares, and Zuma Mai Bichanik, Damba Tatu Bare, Dredeore, take it and the Charonka Danta, Shebi Danta, Gobala, Mayam, Damba Nyaki Bere.
And the next line reads, should be known as truth since it does not deceive. So this Paramita, if you rely on this one, then it will help you to abandon all kinds of the negative things that needs to be abandoned, and also able to achieve the ultimate destination, or ultimate goal, which is Buddhahood. In that way, this path or this Paramita will never deceive in achieving that complete enlightenment state by abandoning all kinds of negativities there. And so this one can be said as the great truth because it doesn't deceive in achieving its goal.
And the manga the carselsna, the Atangate Parangate Parasanga de body soa sea tiki and the Karatangers and the Ompo number. From just about Ompo number tela, and the carriage parrot chimal chetatsu, and Dortini, and the Tanger, Tichigas Ompo number tesola, go Merbatanchi Kodowere, and Ompo number tesola, and the Kojibashi, Tichitanandini, and the Ompo number tail, and the Hechila Sapsuti, Handi Tonetemba.
And the nine is the Pranchaparamita is uttered thus. Tayata gade gade paragade parasam gade bodhi soha. So this is the mantra, and it says that this mantra is meant for the sharpest of the bodhisattvas. For the sharpest of those bodhisattvas, they don't need to be explained in detail. Just by saying beginning, they can understand, just by seeing in a very short form, it can understand the meaning of it. They don't need to be explained in detail. So that's why we have the mantra, which is meant for those sharpest bodhisattvas.
Heraj Paruta Chimbala, Lopper, Dangent is okay, and little Hagures and the Tabu Hagure, Kajares, the Tatia said.
So this mantra is actual in Sanskrit language. So we have the tatyata in the beginning. What that means is not is in English something like it is thus. Means if somebody wants to train on the Panchaparamita, they should do it thus in this way.
Gate is at song he sandwich. That song he said the cutting or sana, and the Sonam the Tangers, that they can stand or sana, Tangazo, Ditin Ranga Make, and go Geva Duba. They cut it over sana, the Condi Hibanani, go Gavachi, Dibastana do Inai, Gavachi Saba Inaya, the Ron Kinzita, Ron the Ejek Kunhound, gets just Gavachi Sauce Marina, the Dick Karchado Versana. Torilla mi combo tobjetanda. Ninjung Chanchik Senatine, Queniente the Ransan combo tobjetanch remato, and Tele Haz and Rotuya Marava. That Tele Pa Galchene, and this Honjich compound tobjek Jurundovike, Lamtela, Dogore, Setica Sola Carresna, and it Sonam Pichegore, Seta Sonshi Sade, or Teda Buketa.
So gate means to go, So here is saying that for us as an ordinary person, ordinary beings, even if we do positive actions, not to mention about those negative actions, that's bad. Even if we do some kind of positive actions, it is mostly linked with some kind of a selfish notion behind it, or we do it with the sense of these thoughts, conceptual thoughts mixed with it. So even if we do positive action, most of these can lead just to the higher beings, to be born into the higher realm, like in the human and God's realms. Or if we do that with a sense of renunciation, then those positive actions will lead us to the arhatship, or the state of the solitary hearer or the solitary realizers. So he is saying that, if you really want to achieve the complete Buddhahood, then the way to do is not to be mixed with this conceptual thought, with the conceptions, thoughts. You have to do it so that it will lead you into the complete enlightenment state. So you have, that means you have to train on the path of accumulations, the first path.
Lam Jolam ko Jolam ke kapsula ani ngan somton la jawa leme gaba 다 장남 저 네 톱르디 가솔라다 저 제모자바 톱르디 가솔라 저도 난총 요미셰 세그리 가솔라 난총총나 자발라스면 내메게바 대나이 지네 길라스운데 땡인데 먼저 제 안에 제 때운데 가솔라 아니 총람 레자 데비기 아니 그 배연다 니바 제와 데니라 아니 고야 라보레사게 땡거레스.
And the second gati, the go, first go and second go, gati, it talks about the training on the second part, which is the part of joining. And the part of joining, once you have 4 levels of part of joining, they have the heat, peak, patience, and the supreme dharma. And that's when you reach the 3rd level of the path of joining, then you don't have to be reborn again into the lower realms. So, and then you have on this path have to train on the calm abiding and the special insights conjoined together. That is the path, training on the path of this joining.
근데 빠란가데세 초도 손히스 초도 손사데 타고 손람도 정랑게 갑솔라 치단게 고 손지 통지게 줄로아게 람기라 하우여데 이나야 다데 소소시유게 람 아니 도자 타스탄도 바나야 당시 잠지 도데바 어다 되네라고지 차데거래 되네 고 초도 손아 통람 딩만도 제고데 가서 적니루 딩만도 도바다 아니 냐모비 데바다 시지데바 탄지 먼저 단계 빠지네 아니 고 세가나지 본센발에 좋아라서봐 어다 되네 용우데 가서라 아니 초도 손아 통람데 먼저 제고래서네 어떻게 해와레스.
And the next is paragati. That means go beyond. So here at this level of the path of seeing, they're saying that you have to train on the path of seeing that at this, once you see the reality of things, then all the gross level of affective emotions, this has been totally abandoned at this level. And at this level, you don't even have the gross level of the sense of those birth, death, and sickness.
네 파라상가데세 초도 용다바 손히스 초도 손아 잠도 맞네 초도 용다바 타치바 손히스데 가서 통랑 가서 간포야바 되니 게 초바 좀 많이 봐 대야네한테 공부 진신네 아니 타마치 바돌라는 로고레 세데 가서 아니 고남티 때마레스.
And the next one is parasamgade, go well beyond. So not just satisfying and contented with having go beyond, but you still have to consistently work on it. So until you reach the complete enlightenment state. And so this is the path of the meditation. So you're doing the meditation, engaging into it again and again on the reality of things that you have seen earlier.
아니 보디 세야 되겠다 장축 세거래 장 세야 되게 아니 또 본자 영목이 되바다 시지 되바 단계 본비게 본아 다도다 아니 춥 세야 되게 아니 저기 니루만도 또 줄바 또바 타도 땡고 되가서 딱 본통 타지 바데 아니 고멜로라마 사제치 고마 데 라스 당거야레스.
And the next one is Bodhisattva. Bodhi is the enlightenment. We have this Tibetan word Chang Chup, 2 words together here. Chang means front point of the abandonment. You have totally purified all those obscurations, including habitual tendencies. And then Chup means to endowed with all the qualities, all the realizations. So this is the ultimate level of reaching the Buddhahood here.
아니 소화세 다 보디다 자르니 소화세 우디가서라 장축 첨보 이투 세거래 다디 이투 세와 되게다 먼저 지에세 다 대나보게 손지지 공부함 아니 본통 타지 미긴 데부티 이투바 먼저 제고래세 하는지 어다디 제고래스.
And soha, bodhisoha means kind of well established in the enlightenment, means you have to reach that complete enlightenment.
어야 다 들리 제고들 가서라 랑나데
So in this mantra, it's showing the 5 paths here, you know. So for those bodhisattvas of the sharpest caliber, so just by mentioning of this mantra, they will be able to understand the training on the 5 paths. And this text reads, Shariputra's Avalokiteshvara is addressing here to Shariputra. In this way, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound paramita. So not just Bodhisattva Mahasattva. Mahasattva means Bodhisattva on the higher grounds, on the stages higher up there. You know, those are referred to Mahasattvas, and they should train in this way, as explained earlier, both the short summary kind of version and the detailed version. Through that way, they should train on this paramita.
Shari Sonje Nyamjala Yudevi Kabla Shari Buddha Shere Zini and the Sonje Nyamja taken to the Nipala Tenchene, Teotilen Zebatilla, and Junga, that day, Jingila Picachano. Tandinima, Teotilen Chesaviki Jello Sonje Nyamjala Dane. That was Nishan Nyamjala Dama Dankaya Yamara, Dami Chutemba, what in it Nangchene. Ne Konik Khan. Teotilen Yabati Sonje Ranik Gomba Imbata Netutin Kotigan Imbati Ane Sonjeki Jonju Samba Sambakimo Pavashir the Onchula La Dini Leso Hitava Chines, Leso and number Sumbaresta.
So with this, the main section of the Heart Sutra, where it is a discussion between Shariputra Avalokiteshvara by asking questions and answering for that one, is finished here. And that has been 2 ways of doing 2 parts kind of. One is more detailedly, and the next one is in the short form of a mantra. So that's finished. And as said earlier, within this actual main text also, we have the 3 portions. First is the context about the introductory part, and the middle main portion of question and answer, and the conclusion part of that part where Buddha, you know, having awaken up from that meditation, he was in deep samadhi, from that meditation, and giving his permission or approval of the discussions that was going on between Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara. Although for the Buddha, there is no differentiation between meditation and post-meditation, but here he is in the kind of acting, in the act of awakening from that meditation stage.
Less rich potato in the set, the something soon many can soon be catch the less was a new one that they take in the stand of the Tamani of the Sunyate, and Jenju Duja got Della Dude you could cortetota, Maomba Duja Teto, and the Yi Cheba, Sonjik Gomba Imba, and Sonjik Tati 고 튼줄 그 돈에다 이 체수 요비게 아니 낸텐 집이 그다도 달래는 게는 숨자가 어떤 차들 얘기를
The actual word of the Buddha in the sutra is here in the second last line of the page number 8, where he says, good, good, son of noble family, thus it is, thus it is. So those are the words that actual spoken by the Buddha. So he giving his permission or the approval that whatever the point were discussed in this in the discussion, that is being approved, that is being given his approval here. He did this way, in this way, so that all the disciples gathered there, and as well as the future disciples, they can, have this, rely on this one. They can say that, oh, this is something that is we can rely upon because the Buddha has given his accent or given his approval of this teaching.
기타 처지 땜바대기도 샤라지 바르스는 삼모를 쉐바르샤도 대기게 받는 예수 다 저런 샤리 보다 샤라지 저런 이게 다 도네게 토네 간땡이가 봐다 샤라지 체 간땡이가 봐 대다도 샤라지 바르스마 삼나 디기어레스 소바티게 토네 또 손제게 던져져 바래 대기게 받는 예수 이런 거서 되게 손제게 간수가 받들라야 근데 뒤숨도 유베 손제 당기 예수 이런 제열에서 비가서라요 리키라 산지 좀 된데데 아니 고 이만가도 이게 디 첼로 자비게 가서 패가는 손제 인우데 가서 손제 얘네자 아니 영직 니바다 젤랍 추안다고 야미나 삼바다고 텐데기 예바다고 파도이게 케돌라 온 대기게 바 탐지게 아니 손제게 간송 잡았더라 예수이나 지레에서 대땡거레스.
And the text further reads on the next page, one should practice the profound Paramita just as you have taught, and all the Tathagatas will rejoice. So just the way that Avalokiteshvara has explained this perfection of wisdom, that is how it is. And then not only the Shakyamuni Buddha has given approval here, but is saying that the Buddhas of all the three times will rejoice. Because some people might have this notion that Shakyamuni Buddha, since he appeared in this world during this degenerated time, where the people's lifespan is 100 years, only up to 100 years, then that this Shakyamuni Buddha may be, not as good as other Buddhas. Some might have this kind of notion. So in order to dispel this kind of notion, is saying that not just the Shakyamuni Buddha, the Buddha of our time, but also the Buddha of all the three times rejoice in this teaching.
네 건도 가정 건데 시비 그때 해반 나기 전에 야랑게 겐디 켐비 코다 종주 셈비 삼바켐비 콜라서 봐 콘나비 탐지 갑텔란디가 받다 탐지다 다 탐지 좀 전에 수발한 거 때문에 이란 제발했어.
And next reads on that, Venerable Shariputra, Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva, Bhasattvas, humans, everybody gathered there. Humans, non-humans, gods, demigods, Gandharvas, everybody rejoiced in this teaching of the Heart Sutra, in this teaching of the perfection of wisdom.
Last edicaso Namkai Pican has me Hamain Sidicas, Lali Junga Mimican and Hamayas, Tezas Edicasola, the say Tesari and Teza. Takanta Pubo Nala ten but the Yapi Socio Getempa Tam Tinton Sumalangaba Deba Kadi race and all the Shagores.
So all the gods, humans, and demigods, gods, they abide, they resides up in the space, sky up there. That's why they're called gods, and the humans, and then demigods. They are little lesser than the gods. So they're kind of mentioned as demigod. And next we have Gandharvas. Gandharvas, literally, this word means scent eater. They are believed that there are some beings who rely on scent as their food. There's a scent eater, the smell, that scent eater, and the other ordinary beings. All of them, without exception, they're saying, they all praised and rejoice in this teaching.
자가지 컴보 베마메다 로자 게로레 첸데케 단 슈 근데 케제제 로자 게로 나팔라서베 휴다시네 딴라파 예소 산에 줄라콩 게지 제만이 다들 직 소설로나야 하고야나
And the last one is a colophon, so you can just read that one so you can understand that. That is how it was translated, or when it was translated into the Tibetan language.
다들이마 나도게 샤람니 보코롱 뭐지 타위야 만드시당 나도 남지 샤람니 보테 네 베바클스럽 차위에 살에다지 베지냐네 제동 돌아 가레 남소지 중요하잖아 근데 샤라지 바로 듣지마 대지당게 아니 베마시게 니바다 질랍 쳔보 임바 단데 마 로지데 마 용구여를 데 나기지는 임바 좀 살라 땡지네 근데 나절라 쟁게 차 쟁다 파르제다 아니 지문데 비게 쟁에 파르제 가레 중바이나야 샤라지 뭐 뜻땡지네 아니 도바데 제디가솔레 아니 고 펜도 쳔보 중요야 방면지 제거레스.
And from the next page is not part of the actual Heart Sutra, but in the Tibetan tradition, we consider this Heart Sutra very powerful and very full of blessings, so that, if you have any kind of obstacles, whatever obstacles or bad phases that you're going through, by reciting this Heart Sutra, we believe that all those can be dispelled, and especially by adding this prayer at the end here, that's called Dokpa, or the averting, or the repelling of all those bad things that is being going through, that's been coming on to you.
아티지리가 나말라마나 창자로 송제 창자 최라 창자 겐딜 창자 윤지 마케라드 바로 진발로 창자로서는 창자제 아니 다크 뎀비치는 루버추지 있어 다데 어 덴시티 루버쇼스 마맘제 다데 제발 때니 디디겐라 좀 문제비 초탄 제도 바 제발에서 다데 케라트 바로 진민 이보데 뎀비기 배야 만지 중화되죠. 나까도 다크자 윤지 마케라드 바로 진단 삼만델라 삼네 치카든 제발 때니 and the detail as of Mintibi Chotanji, Chito, Mebarjuji, Shivachuji, Shivachuji, Sene, Namato Dobate, Tasum, and Batan, and the Jack, and such as Tichidi Faculty, Sharat Party, Sharat Timbo T, Hachangeta, Madotenga Patin, the Capsula, Dane, and a Soatabaina, and a Chilata Niba, Sosuchenga Pati Doya, and a Niba Chambo Yavati, not okay. And the hidden jaguars.
So this, the avoiding obstacles here, the first few lines, they're paying homage to the lamas, to the Buddha, to the Dharma, to the Sangha, and to the great Panchaparamita, great Mother Panchaparamita. And then the next line where it says, may these words of ours come true, may these words of truth may come true, kind of. So we invoking the truth here. And then the last line of that page says, just as long ago the king of gods, Indra, by contemplating the profound meaning of Panchaparamita and reciting its word. So this is telling about the past incidents in the history, and as you can read it in some of the longer version of the Panchaparamita, that by invoking and the blessing and the power of this Panchaparamita, they averted all those the calamities or bad things that were befalling. And then the next line saying, just like in the past, they did that way. In the same way, I'm here also reciting the words of the Heart Sutra and the contemplating on the meaning of this Heart Sutra. And due to this, all the obstacles and bad things that is coming through or just befalling me may avert it, may dispel it, or maybe this kind of repelling those things. So this is the traditions that we have in Tibet, that, as we consider this Panchaparamita, especially this Heart Sutra, as a very powerful and full of blessings. We recite this as a prayer, and at the end we recite this averting of obstacles.
뭐야, 나 드네 제비 가수래. 가서 안에 뒤다 뒤솔라. 안에 소소를 쟁게 빠지 운디는다. 안 드네 게 가수래 가디나야. 데 다양하게 안에 매장체나 야보여레스.
So in this way, from time to time, we should try to recite this prayer and doing this averting obstacles, so that we can avert any kind of obstacles that may be befalling us.
시다한다 뭐네 지나 가서게 단다데 가르레스나 샤람 니보티 네 랑마 담바나 이제네디 단텐 삼나 동체네 내가 좀 냠내를 잡게 지레스 이나야 네 고문 그 중화 아용 뭐 자진게 된게 다 쟁에 바지 도야 중화 때라 잡네 네 프로젝트 논테 논라 네 쟁에 바지 도야게 네고 가서 그래 제도라 냠내 제하나 바지 잔된 제대하나 바지 람선으로 차디어레스.
In actuality, this Heart Sutra is to be practiced in order to attain the complete enlightenment. So as we've gone through earlier, based on these 5 paths, training on these 5 paths, one has to attain the complete enlightenment. But within the Tibetan traditions, it has also become something to avert those obstacles, on the path. So just like here in this prayer written that, just is written that just like the god Indra in the past relied on this to avert the bad things befalling, in the same way, we are also doing this, like, we are doing this, so this become kind of a tradition in our Tibetan tradition.
대체되다 맞춰ken 참참라 아니 샤라파르 니보테 아니 소독체네 아니 들리 지고요 어떻게 그 값을래니 권냠 유다고 제토나야 근데 매 소소 매레게 게자사야다 냠주체네 게자사야데 아니 줄 마다와 요레스.
From time to time, we accumulate the reciting the Heart Sutra. So if we do that, it's good if you also can join and participate in the accumulation of this Heart Sutra, because unlike doing it alone by yourself, if we do it in a group, the benefits would be greater in this in participating in a group.
가르스나 시전주노라 말아서바 땡치치를 세이드 가서라 근데 마음다고 틀리 로디 가서라 미끼게 아니 미치세야가 있나 마음이끼게 미치세야가 있나야 근데 마음은 참아라 메트세비게 디바든 중매바 게지해거레스 그때 카토와 있는 기바레스 고 인데바 기바다 근셔 기바게 초바 지게 미끼게 아니 게자치다바 있나야 미탄케라 대단 냠비게 게단 중매라 티치디 가서라 근데 메자라고 지게 샤론이 버튼 바 있나야 네, 그 미래를 게다 때문에 참아라 토바. 어떻게 그 돈 냠두게 게다 써야 돼. 근데 배양다 니바 자케와 어떻게 좀네 쳔보여레스.
Because in the Bodhicharya Avatar, Shantideva says that, when one joins the army and fights in the military war, if one person kills another person, the negative karma, everybody has the same negative karma, because they are all in the same mission with the same intention. They all seem together there. In the same way, if you look it through the other angle, if we do positive actions, if we do it in a group, just like in that war, if you do it in a group, so we are in the same group with the same intention, with the same feeling, in the same recitation engaged. So whatever one has been recited, everybody in that group has the same or the equal benefits.
뭐야, 다들 다 뒤져도 조선들이 내가 유튜브인스 뒤치스.
So our time is up, and I will stop here. Thank you very much, everybody.
Didn't teach you in a Nehema, so teacher Duna, the child of it, Donna Degrees, teacher Menuna.
I'm not sure we still have some time. If we have some few more minutes, then you can ask questions.
I think we have a question from yesterday. The question is, what's the difference between 6 faculties and 6 sensations?
Six faculties and 6 sensations?
Yes.
I'm not sure what's really referring to, because unlike in the Tibetan translations, English translation, we don't have one approved word. So maybe a way of different translators using different words. Right.
The lines are you'll took down one book.
You'll took the ombu took line and
One book to the you'll took
ombu to the no she took me.
Namshi Mayamba, one book to the you'll took.
Sense object in a.
You to the own bottle. Hansa. You to the own bottle carry the survey.
Kabaraj career la Tanjagoni.
You said the subject you that you can get you spend a pecha yavaina, zute, yure, and me on bote, you can it. The double getter, go teeth tankere, eat tasare, the double go and majano, the next chavayor ceremony, middle.
So if the question is about the faculties and the objects, sense objects, then the sense, the faculties are the like eye object. Faculty, eyes, ears, and those things, and the sense object is for the eyes is the form, and for the ear is the sound, for the nose the smell, and those same thing. You have this.
Okay, so I think now the time is over, and now I don't know those questions when we can ask. No, next we don't have session. So maybe now it's okay. So we'll end up here, and thank you everyone. And now it is and then thank you so much for Karen Boche that accepting this our invitations and teaching us and sharing the wisdom or the knowledge that what you have. And so therefore we are very much thanking to our Khenpo and to kind of like perform or show that thanks. The thanks is actually just a sense that nobody can see. I feel great. I feel appreciated that Khenpo shared this teaching. So nobody can see my great and my appreciations. So then to represent or to show some perform or the form that our appreciation, And that's why, one of the reasons, that's why we are doing this mandala offering. And so through that mandala offering, that everybody can see, oh, that's the kind of like, oh, they are really appreciating. So we'll do, how to say, mandala offering now soon. And okay, so now we'll do mandala offering. So can you please share the long mandala offering? Okay, so we everybody can read together. Om Benzer Gumi Aum Chi Yong Su Pa Wan Jin Se Ju Sa Om Benzer Riki Aum Chi Jari Puyu Gi Puri Om Ge Jabori Shara Papo Lum Zambole Om Balan Ju Shang Dami Yedam Maya Yenden Da Lam Ju Dami Yinda Dami Yinje Da Embro Jiro Pa Sam Ji Shin Ba Mame Mo Boche Boche Sumar Boche Namor Boche Lamor Boche Tanjor Boche Agar Boche Teresh Boche Bomba Jeva Mama Loma Bama Loma Durma Masama Jama Nyima Boche and then okay, so okay, so and now that's completed offering mandala for the thanks offering to the Khenpo. And thank you so much again, Khenpo, and then thanks to everyone, whoever participate, and I hope that you understand much better all this Heart Sutra. This is actually, yes, really important one for the generally all the Buddhist practitioner, and particularly that the practitioner who is considering how to say themselves as a Mahayana practitioner. So this view is very important, and yeah, we will make how to say that also this today our Khenpo also show a little bit emptiness, that he is sitting in a other angle, you know, nobody can sit in that way. I cannot sit in this way, so today he showed us emptiness.
Yeah, technically it's very good.
And then so So before we dedicate it, I have some few announcements. So I would like to announce that the through this what do you call it? The donation that through our registrations for the Heart Sutra teachings that we received in total amount 2,907, and then we offered out of it $1,000 to Khenpo for the thanks offering, and then we distribute 500 to the sanghas, and then the center kept it for its maintaining and its improvement, that another $1,407. So that's the kind of like that what do you call it, income and outgoing. So there's this not completely outgoing, so 1,407 we keep still we kept it. But we received anyway, so we received it total amount through this registration donation 2,907. So thanks for all of you that who supporting to continue this kind of program and teachings in the future. And then also I have one announcement about this, the Payupemamani Center as located in Toronto here. And then we have bought last year that our retreat land, and that we bought it 150 acre up north of the Ontario. As you can see here on the screen, that this is the land we purchased it last year. And at the moment, it is most of the kind of like a bush, this little town, the Cochrane, it's called, like only 5,000 residents are there. It's very beautiful land and peaceful place. And then we are trying to kind of like trying to start all the project. So first we are trying to clear up a little bit the land so we can build something on it. So therefore we are raising fund for the clearing out the land, that as you can see all the detail on the below that picture, that what is our project, what is our plan. So you can read, and if you have any interested, please feel free to contact us, and whatever you can support and help, it is appreciated. And also that our Khenpo that he just recently established the new Buddhist center in Vancouver. So definitely, I know that I myself also started like this. And when we starting, there are a lot of kind of like the setting, it's kind of like a little bit challenge. So, and then that people that Khenpo needs lots of volunteer, absolutely. And then also supporters, and then also finance. There may many things required in order to run, and establishing is the one thing, but later it needs to be continue maintaining that program, the kind of like the providing all the facilities and teachings and practice and meditation and so on. There are a lot of hard work that it needs to be do it in the future. And from us, the Payupemamani Center, that we would like to donate to our Khenpo's new center, the support a little bit. We have financial support. So Payupemamani Center in Toronto would like to donate the Payul Meditation Center Vancouver to Khenpo, $3,000. So we have here check, you can see. I'm just showing that we would like to donate this to Khenpo. Don't see my face, just watch the check. Anyway, so this is what I will we are going to donate for the Khenpo's new Dharma centers. And then we are really hoping, and then we also not just hope, that I very confident that Khenpo will definitely going to benefit a lot of beings, all the local peoples, and spreading out all this Buddha Dharma, sharing his knowledge and wisdom with others. Through that way, many people get benefit, that's for sure. So therefore, we are kind of like a voluntarily, or kind of like a with a very keen interest. So we are donating this. So thank you for Khenpo to establishing and working hard for all of us. And okay, so then that's it. And then yeah, and then also that from next weekend, in our center, that Bodhicharya Avatara, which I'm teaching in the every weekend, we're going to begin back from the next weekend. So this is now I am teaching. Anyway, so if anyone wants to participate, please welcome. And we are at the 9th chapter already, actually. So we are begin of the 9th chapter, which is talks about the wisdom, as we learned already actually in the Heart Sutra, but we will going to review again in the 9th chapter of Bodhicharya Avatara. Anyway, so that's all. Now I would like to dedicate all those merit that whatsoever we did it, to work so hard to make it happen, and listening teachings and giving teachings and contemplating upon all those precious teachings, or that whatsoever we accumulated merit through this activity, to dedicate all this for the motherly sentient beings, to everybody to understand this Heart Sutra, and then able to engage into this, its meaning, and then crossing this all 5 paths, and to achieve complete enlightenment. For that purpose, we are dedicating all this merit together. So we'll read this first in Tibetan, and then later we'll read this in English. So please read together. Sonam de tamje sebani, komne ne tanam tamje, shega nanje walam tubai, sebe zolendo ando vashu, jamba pawe jitara kimba, kundu sambo de ande jende, deda kunje jesu dalo, gewan de dan tamje rabdo, gewan de shivo, Sonam yeshe tsotrone, Sonam yeshe lejumbe, Tamba kanyi tobashu, Sanje kusam nyebe chimbala, Chunye menjuru dembe chimbala, Gengen meche dembe chimbala, Jedara moa melam dobashu. By this beneficial activity, may I obtain omniscience, and having vanquished the harmful enemies, greed, anger, illusion, may I liberate all beings just about helpless by the waves of birth, aging, illness, and death in the ocean of becoming. By conforming to the knowledge of courageous Manjushri, Jambalya, and in the same way as Samindabhadra, Kundusam, and following their example, I dedicate perfectly all this virtue. By this virtue, may all beings perfectly achieve the accumulation of merit, love, and wisdom, and may they thereafter obtain the 2 holy bodies, which result from these 2 accumulations. By the blessing of the Buddha, who obtained the 3 bodies, by the blessing of the immutable truth of the Dharma, by the blessing of the infallible aspiration of the Sangha, may this prayer of dedication be accomplished just as it is. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much, Khenpo.
Okay, thank you, Rinpoche. Everybody, thank you. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joku. Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you, Khenpo. Bye. Two channel, Khenpo. Two channel.